Big Meth from the group home, and I'm asking, no, then again I'm telling, no, better yet, I'm commanding you to watch Raw Monday, midnight, MTV Base. It's not a game.
Rockefeller, he had a lot of money, but they just didn't have the radio politics.
So our next step was like, okay, how can we get their presence on Hot 97?
New York's #1 station, Hot 97.
Back then, getting on Hot 97 was a hard thing to do unless you was, a very major label.
You know, they won't play your joints on Hot 97. It would not. I'm saying that they won't play your joints on like regular radio. You gotta go underground.
Oh yeah, well, I'm not really with that mainstream thing.
We used to just call Funkmaster Flex and request the records.
Flex was the DJ at the time. He was the man on Hot 97.
Irv Gotti. He was like, I'm telling you, Flex, this record is hot. The first time I got the record, I played it like 8 times in a row.
So that was the first time we got on the radio, and we were like, yes, finally got radio.
Then we had a B-side, which changed Jay-Z's career.
Once that song dropped and it broke, it was like a rock.
Everybody loved it. In the club, they just made all the DJs play it, play it, play it.
The video got into heavy rotations on MTV.
It ended up being on a Nutty Professor soundtrack.
That's when Jay-Z, national star, was born.
Everybody was just waiting for him to do the record. They was like, yo, when you gonna do a record?
It was a big expectation for Jay's album.
We all did the album at D&D Studios.
He was getting producers to do records for absolutely nothing because he was that good.
He doesn't write no rhymes down.
He listens to the beat and he writes the rhymes in his mind.
And Jay will hop from room to room and just knock them out.
That's where we recorded Brooklyn Finest.
I was in the studio with Big and I played the beat for Brooklyn's Finest by accident. Big heard the beat and ran approximately 100 feet top speed and said, is that for me? And I was like, nah, I'm sorry, this is for Jay. He goes, yo, man, let me get on that record, right? So I'm like, come with me.
Biggie was our hero, you know what I'm saying? You know, being from Brooklyn and all.
Jay and Big, they went to school together.
So they kind of had a relationship already. So I guess it was just meant to happen.
The first time Biggie was there, I remember Jay asked for a pad. He was like, gave it to Biggie, and Biggie was like, what's that for? He's like, so you can write. He was like, nah, I don't write. He's like, you don't write neither? He's like, nah. And that's when they found out that both of them didn't write. That day, that was the beginning of everything. That's when him and Big became friends, and it was on from that point on. Jay loved Biggie. You know, I never really seen Jay embrace nobody like that, like no other rapper. Like, really nobody. They became, like, real tight, because they used to call each other all the time, be around each other. Like, we did shows together.
Them two together wanted to be the #1 rappers. They had conversations on, we are going to smash everybody.
Biggie was on his ascent, and Jay didn't even have a setup. Like, no one even knew this record was coming out, and then boom, Big is on it.
Major Corners. Rockefeller forever, y'all.
It was crazy. I mean, when the album dropped, everybody had it. I mean, it was selling like hotcakes.
Every car had it. Every little kid had it. But that's when you saw, like, okay, the world's catching up to him.
Let's do it again.
People finally said, oh, this is for real.
Okay, all right, big man, you want to make some big bucks, huh? Let's get up you are.
It was really like him, his introduction, really explaining who he was, what he'd been through.
Reasonable Doubt portrayed a hustler who was getting a lot of money, who was trying to get out the game.
Sold it all from crack to OPM.
MCs had definitely touched, you know, on hustling, but Jay talked about what it can do to a person's inner peace and what it can do to their mind.
It was so simple to believe him, like, because he was that vivid and his picture was painted so perfectly.
Everybody thought he was like the lyricist of the future.